Hey, what's up guys, Benny here, and welcome to my top 10 best loadouts for Warzone Season 4 Reloaded, because we've just had the biggest weapon overhaul in Warzone history with a ton of weapons that we use all the time getting nerfed to the ground. So you might be confused at what you should be running, but this video is going to help you exactly with that, and you're going to have the best loadouts to get all the wins and kills that you possibly can. But if you are new around here, please take a second to hit the like and subscribe button, and I promise you'll get better at Warzone. But before we dive into the loadouts, let's check out the sponsor of today's video, ZLeague. Now, if you've been looking at getting into the competitive scene or have already been competing, you're definitely going to want to check out ZLeague. It's the world's first skill-based tournament platform that has both free and paid entry tournaments. Plus, it allows you to play against players of a similar skill level thanks to ZLeague's algorithm that places you into a division based off of all your Warzone stats. ZLeague also has an anti-cheat to catch and ban cheaters, so you're not only playing against players of a similar skill level, but you're also playing fairly, and it's available for every platform that you play Warzone on. And now is the perfect time to get involved because ZLeague is running their biggest tournament ever, the Showdown, which is completely free to enter. The event takes place between July 19th and the 31st and is a 2-week-long trios tournament. Every team that signs up will be placed into one of ZLeague's skill-based divisions, with each division competing for a piece of the over $50,000 prize pool. All you've got to do is register your team for free and play anytime between July 19th and the 31st, and every match you play will be scored with your 3 best games over the 2 weeks going to your final score. You can play as much as you like. This is the perfect way to dip your toes into a tournament and potentially win some amazing prizes. So go check the link down in the description below and register for the Showdown. Be quick though, as registration ends tomorrow, July 16th. But there are plenty of other tournaments to check out as well. So the first loadout that you're going to want to be running in Season 4 Reloaded is the Krig and the brand new SMG, the OTS-9. Now the Krig is finally about to have its time in the spotlight. After all the nerfs to the other assault rifles, the Krig actually received a slight buff and is now incredibly easy to use. It's kind of like the old school Kilo. It's not got the fastest time to kill. However, it is very, very easy to use, just like how the Kilo used to be, which is what made it meta, and it's the assault rifle that you really want to be running right now. So on the Krig itself, we're going to have that agency suppressor for vertical recoil control, sound suppression, bullet velocity, and effective damage range. But the important decision is we're not going to run the CMV mil-spec barrel because that's going to punish our aim down sight speed. We still want to have a good level of mobility using the Krig, okay? Because if you've got a slow ADS, you're not going to be able to snap onto your opponents, and you could end up getting a lower overall time to kill because you're not going to be able to snap in onto your opponents and take advantage of the game's aim assist. So for that reason, we go for the 19.7 Ranger, which increases your bullet velocity, but also gives you a bit of recoil control, going to make it even easier to use. But more importantly for me, does not punish that aim down sight speed. So it's going to be easy to hit your targets. The effective damage range isn't as important because you're only getting 2 damage profiles. You've got damage profile 1, damage profile 2, and this barrel is only really going to increase it by about 5 meters to get damage profile 2. So you just bullet velocity, vertical recoil control, keep that ADS. Then we've got the field agent grip just to kind of balance this, make that as the Krig as much of a laser as possible. Then the stack length 60 round mags. I play trios and quads. You can get away with 45 rounds if you're playing solos or duos. And then we got the Royal and Cross 4 times, which is my go-to now for medium to long range. And now I use the precision reticle. Then pairing with that, we've got the OTS-9, the brand new SMG to the game. Unbelievable. Fastest time to kill in the game right now for up close. And I run the Grew Suppressor, effective damage range, recoil control, bullet velocity, everything you want in an SMG. Spetnaz grip for recoil control. The Spetnaz 40 round mag. I don't run the fast mag. I want that ADS to be nice and snappy. Serpent wrap and the Spetnaz stock, so I can then kind of glide around corners. Honestly, using the Spetnaz over the Raider is a huge advantage in a lot of situations right now, especially at close quarters, and you have a higher chance of being able to break aim assist. Do not underestimate the Spetnaz stock. And then that's the build build that I use there, and then EOD, overkill, amped, a throwing knife, and a heartbeat sensor. Now, my second loadout is using the Farah. The Farah is still very much up there as one of the best assault rifles for mid to long range right now. We've got the suppressor on there, so we've got a fast ADS because otherwise it feels a bit sticky. Once again, only 2 damage profiles. The 18.7 Spetsnaz RPK barrel, the Royal and Cross 4x scope, the Spetsnaz speed grip, which should be the Spetsnaz grip, and the 60 round mag. Now, of course, if you want, you can go ahead and use the actual arms 3 times if you don't want the Royal and Cross. But like I said, personal preference for me, mid to long range, I'm using the Royal and Cross right now. It just feels like none of the guns have recoil when you're using it. It's kind of broken, especially the C58. Then, right, now you might have noticed this is a little bit of a different class because I feel this could be the go-to class when High Alert receives its update in the next couple of weeks, where you're going to be able to hear dead silence. Because I feel like people are going to move away from using Ghost and be more interested in High Alert and whatever the other 2 perks that they bring out. But the AMP 63 is unbelievably good. Yes, it only has a 23 round fast mag, but it's still got like a 470 to 500 millisecond time to kill, which is as fast as most of the SMGs and faster than a lot of the others. So do not underestimate this pistol. You pick up as floor loot, it will blow you away. Agency suppressor, 6.1 reinforced barrel, Tiger Team spotlight, salvo 23 round fast mag, and the Serpent wrap. I'm running the reinforced heavy because, as I said, I don't want to add additional recoil. Just want to make it as much of a laser as possible. That effective damage range and bullet velocity you get there, and you don't need the strafe speed. It's barely noticeable. It's a pistol, and it just, like, trust me, Tiger Team Spotlight gives you all you need. Unbelievably good weapon, and then gives you the ability to have that second perk right off the rip. So the Farah, AMP, then throwing knife and a heartbeat sensor. Remember, depending on what you're playing, if you're playing Verdansk, you can go for the C4, throwing knife if you're playing on Rebirth. Then moving on to our next class, we've got the M13. It received a small minimum damage increase from 19 to 20. Doesn't really change the minimum bullets to kill. It's going to help against players that have only 2 plates on, so you don't need that extra bullet. Because it's so annoying. You've got 10 bullets, and to that extra 10 damage, you need to get another bullet. So it's dropped that kind of mid plate kill profile by a whole bullet, so does pretty help. It's still kind of a pea shooter, but it's really easy to use. Super accurate, drops off at a bit of a further distance, but medium range. Very, very good assault rifle. Monolithic suppressor, Tempest marksman barrel, VLK 3x optic, Commando foregrip, and the 60 round mag. And then the Modern Warfare MP5 is making a return. This is going to be the big surprise in Season 4 Reloaded. The Modern Warfare MP5 is back. I can confirm it right now. Best SMG in the game once again. Maybe over the OTS 9, but for trios and quads, I think the MP5 is going to be king. Monolithic integral suppressor, 5MW laser, Merc foregrip, 45 round mag, and then sleight of hand. I personally run sleight of hand in trios and quads, so I can take a full squad at a time quite comfortably. However, if you want, you can get rid of the sleight of hand and go for the FTAC collapsible stock. Both builds work. It depends on your preference. If you're playing trios and quads, go for sleight of hand. Otherwise, go for the FTAC collapsible. And then just remember to aim down sight. This is a really good hip fire build. But EOD, overkill, amped, throwing knife, and a heartbeat sensor. Really underrated class right now. And, you know, the MP5, it's coming back. Mark my words. Then fourth, we've got the AK-47 with the Kar98K. Snipers with the time to kill being increased to around 600 milliseconds are going to be dominate. Like, this has been one of the biggest buffs to snipers in Warzone because it's still a one-shot headshot. Every other weapon's time to kill has been dropped. Snipers, still a one-shot headshot. Nothing you can do about it. So all the snipers got a buff with this season update. But the Cold War AK, very, very good for mid to long range still. The base suppressor, 20-inch Spetsnaz RPK barrel. I run the actual arms 3 times, the Spetsnaz grip, and the 45 round. Now, for me, this is good at mid to long, but it's also very good at close range. I've used this personally on like Rebirth, only just using this gun, and you can shred, which makes it a perfect sniper support weapon. You could go ahead and just use a different sight if you wanted to, like Cobra Red Dot or Microflex LED. Either works. Personally, just use the actual arms 3 times. And then we've got the Kar98K with a monolithic suppressor, Singuard Custom 27.6, tac laser, sniper scope, and the ST-Vol precision comb. Pretty standard for the Kar98, but still one of the best weapons out there right now. And then the same perks and everything going forward. Then the 5th class, the AS Val. It is its time to shine. Very much like the Krig. I've always looked at the AS Val and gone, it's just not viable. It's too small mag size. However, with all the close range weapons in the game getting nerfed, this has risen to the top of the pile and is now going to shred. The downside with it is obviously that reload speed, but the VLK 200 mil OSA for damage range, bullet velocity is what you want. Then, because remember, it's got an inbuilt suppressor already. The tac laser for faster ADS. Merc foregrip for that recoil control. Then we've got the 30-round mag, because that's the largest mag you can have. And then stipple grip tape. You can go ahead and use sleight of hand if you want to. Just doesn't really make that much of a difference to the reload speed. But I've been killed so much by this thing today. I lose almost every gunfight because it's the best gun. Like, for close range, like, if you don't push as a group, if you're playing like solos or duos, this is the king. Like, unbelievably good. Then we've got the Swiss, which has had an update to its optic. It now shares the same standard sight as the ZRG, which is a great thing. Like, it's a really clean optic, really easy to use. And the Swiss is now very, very close with the Kar 98. I think the Swiss could slightly be edging it. Obviously, it doesn't have the highest bullet velocity, but for those mid to long range quick snipes, which is where you use this really as an aggressive sniper, it's going to really perform. Groove suppressor, 24.9 combat recon, SWAT 5 MW laser, the bruiser grip, and the serpent grip. I use this just for that aiming stability, so that when you do scope in, it's going to bang straight onto where you're centering. Best thing to do when you're trying to get quick scopes for headshots. And obviously, with all the assault rifles and things being nerfed, snipers are going to start outperforming in Warzone. So Swiss, Kar 98, start using them. You might have to master them to really kind of get to the top level. Then we've got my SIC class, which is the Stoner. The Stoner actually didn't receive that much of a nerf and is slightly leaning towards outperforming a lot of the assault rifles now. Obviously, you don't get the same level of mobility, but that's why you've got AMP to switch between an SMG. It's just kind of like, hold up, lock a position down, use the Stoner, and you're going to do really well. Agency suppressor, 21.8 task force barrel, Royal and Cross 4 times, the field agent grip, and the serpent grip. Then we've got the Cold War MP5. Once again, it received quite a big nerf, but is still in the top 5 fastest killing SMGs in Warzone right now. This is a high mobility build that I use. It helps you get around the map really quickly. And it's just a lot of fun to use. I also use the Paint Blaster variant. Now, the reason I do that, if I kind of show you, is so I get the cleaner half moon iron sight. Personally, hate the default iron sight and have to use that half moon. Otherwise, I just won't use the Cold War MP5. But agency suppressor, Raider stock, bruiser grip, Stagnag 50 round drum, and the serpent grip to finish off the build. Really, really good weapon, if I'm being totally honest. Then 7th class. It's true, right? The Grau is back. It's not as dominant, but it goes in the same category as the M13 for me. It's just super easy to use, which and it's a favorite, right? We can all admit it. If we played Warzone back in like season 3, like Modern Warfare, the Grau was one of the most fun weapons to use. The monolithic suppressor, that Archangel barrel, which gives it that beautiful, beautiful iron sight. I still just see Vic just tearing out Warzone Wednesdays using this thing, but absolute beamer, still really good now. Decent time to kill, not one of the fastest, but very, very easy to use, and also a good sniper support weapon. Commander foregrip, 60 round mag, and then with it I put the OTS 9 on it once again. Groove suppressor, Spetnaz grip, 40 round mag, serpent wrap, and the Spetnaz stock. We're gonna see this thing a lot because the reload speed, even though it's got 40 rounds, isn't that bad compared to like the Fennec, which is like the Modern Warfare version of this, where you just kind of like spray and all your bullets are gone. This can hold its own and has one of the fastest time to kills in the game right now. Then the C58 hasn't gone anywhere. It's still good after its nerf. The suppressor, 18.5 task force, Royal and Cross 4 times, field agent grip, and the 55 round mag. Yes, it's got a bit more recoil, but definitely manageable. And especially with that lower fire rate, easier to control, just kind of track your opponents. And it's just kind of like the really far range fights that you can't like laser anyone anymore, but still in the top 3 assault rifles in the game. And then with that, I've got the nail gun, which is just pretty basic. You don't have to do anything with it, but decent SMG, and still a very fast time to kill. Then on the 9th place, we've got one of the new weapons for this season, and honestly, I think it could go under the radar because it had the XM4 treatment where its recoil has been smoothed out, and it has one of the fastest time to kills out of all the assault rifles at the close range distance in its first range, which is around 27 meters, and then also post 27 meters. So if you can get the hang of it, this could fit its way into that mid to long range meta, which is a bit unusual because it was always a close range weapon. But the Groove Suppressor, 16.5 CMV mil spec, axial arms 3 times, Spetnaz speed grip. Once again, we don't want a Spetnaz speed grip. It is a Spetnaz speed grip because we want horizontal and vertical. And then the 45 round drum, just so I've got that fast ADS speed. It's kind of got a slow rate of fire anyway, so you don't burn through a 60 round mag that quickly. And then I'm using that Modern Warfare MP5 once again, monolithic integral, 5 MW, Merc foregrip, 45 round, and sleight of hand. And then the final class that we have is the Ram 7, right? Received a small nerf, but is still one of the best assault rifles out of Modern Warfare weapons. And what I'm happy about this update is the fact that Modern Warfare weapons are now once again viable. They have sucked for the majority of Season 4, but now they are back, and I cannot wait to start using them again. Ram 7, Monolithic Suppressor, FSS Ranger, VLK 3 times optic, Commando foregrip, and the 50 round mag. Then got the RPG because this is my Ghost class. But those are my top 10 loadouts. I hope they helped you. Let me know what you think. Share anything you find down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for more Warzone. Thanks for watching.